Hey, everybody. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Last plant-based morning show of the week. We're sponsored and presented by Compliment. We might be going away for the weekend, but Compliment isn't. They're here. They're always here. You can go to lovecompliment.com anytime. Lovecompliment.com and get the best vegan supplements in the world, bar none. Guaranteed, 100%.
And for anyone who's been waiting around patiently for creatine or daily greens, as we've been dealing with some keeping in stock issues, they're coming back. So go ahead and head over to Love Compliment, get your creatine, get your daily greens
Just order
powder.
them and trust us that they're coming back.
They're here. They're
at
the fulfillment center, getting added to the bins so they can be shipped out.
Trust us.
Trust us. Yeah, how could you not trust this face? You know.
I know. Well, look, you're right. How could we do this show all these days, 2 years, however many shows we've done now? If that doesn't earn us trust, what does? Right? Show up here, don't do ads, just
that's right.
Plug our stuff now and then.
We follow through with every promise we've ever made.
Yep.
On this show.
Well, I don't think that's not untrue. We don't ever make empty promises. We may have some big ideas that don't happen. I didn't promise any of that. These are ideas.
All right, fair enough.
Never has anyone been swindled by our empty promises.
There you go. Okay, that's fair.
All right, good. Well, Doug, you're feeling better today? Sickness?
Yeah, I'm feeling much better. Yeah, I am. I even got up and ran this morning, so.
Good. Okay.
Turn the corner. How about you? You doing all right?
I am doing all right. Yeah. Till I read this article that you just shared with me yesterday, about Meati Foods, that this mycoprotein, this mycelium, is actually mold. That's alarming and upsetting. KDC says, "Oh my God," about the title, and she's right. It is an oh my God. This is not just a small little thing. So we'll get into that in a bit. Plus some other fun things we've got planned. But yeah, I don't have too much. I don't really think. Yeah, nothing going on this weekend. Nothing special that I can think of.
Yeah, we don't either. We're sticking around. It's gonna be a good home weekend. Got final swim meet of the season tonight. If it doesn't get rained out, so.
Did you have to qualify for the final week? No, you're kidding. Did Eliza have to qualify for the final meet?
No, it's just final scheduled meet.
Gotcha. Because ours, even when we were in like a different league in Asheville than we are now, you have to actually there's like a finals, and you have to swim in the semifinals to do that, and even at a not that serious level, it's just they have that format. Anyway. But yeah, good. Glad. Is she gonna do the swimming again? Has she liked it enough?
Yeah, definitely. She's loved it.
That's good. Very good. All right, good. People are already talking about this mold thing. Just stay tuned. Don't throw it away just yet. We'll get into it. There's details to cover.
Some details here.
But I mean, this isn't a fake fluff thing. I mean, it is a real thing. Anyway, yeah, okay. I guess that's it. I don't have other stuff, I don't think. Whoops, there goes the weather report. We ready to jump into that, Doug? You got anything else?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's just jump right in.
Okay, here we go. Your weather report, Thursday, July 25th. There's not actually too much today. Leonardo DiCaprio, one of our favorite pro-vegan guys. Is that fair to say? Is he one of our favorite pro-vegan guys? I don't actually know.
Well, sure, I like Leo.
Does he mostly have a clean, unsullied reputation? I know he won't date a girl over age 25.
Yeah, I think his new girlfriend is 19, maybe. So that's kind of weird, right?
It's kind of weird, but the laws are set as they are, so you know, it's okay. Yeah.
Well, I just can't imagine I can't imagine my friend showing up with a 19-year-old woman. I don't know. I just feel like that we wouldn't have all that much to talk about. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong.
Yeah. Then there's a temptation to say, well, if you're Leo DiCaprio, if you can do that, sure, go for it. But I almost feel like it just would I don't want to say you feel bad for him, but it's almost like why not just have how about a 28-year-old? I don't know, someone who's just more an adult. And that just seems like a
right.
I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of development and maturity that happens between 19 and
Right.
28.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, it just seems like a hard. How could you really connect very deeply? But who knows? Anyway, I don't know why this is in the news, but it is, and he's been investing in a vegan trainer brand. Trainer being the UK version of the word athletic shoes. After he faced accusations of eco hypocrisy. I don't. Well, okay, that's because he enjoyed a lavish lifestyle while calling on others to fight against climate change. But in this case, he invested in this sneaker brand called, where is it? I don't have the name. Wild Loci, Loci. I haven't heard of these, but they're vegan shoes. Apparently, he invested a bunch of his $300 million fortune. That's a little low. I'm surprised. I would have said Leo near billionaire. But anyway, that company's not doing well. That's the punchline. That's the story. That company lost about 1.2 million last year, and this year they've lost 3.5 million.
Where did this article come from, man? Where did this headline come from?
It came from, I think this was from Daily Mail. It was kind of on a Daily Mail kick.
Yeah, because this screams a company not doing well. Oh, there's a celebrity investor in that company. Let's write essentially a hit piece on the.
And don't forget the vegan part, right? It's also a chance
on the vegan, right? Yeah,
in there as well. Yeah, it's exactly that. And we don't even know that this is not doing well. Like our company.
I mean, maybe that's part of their strategy is to lose money.
Right. You gain customers and increase your sales, but it costs you profit to do that. And you go in the hole, but luckily you have investment. In this case, that's what Leo's role is to be the investor, so that the company can afford to do this.
And how much has he invested? There's I don't know. It's really just an opportunity to call him out for some hypocrisy, if there even is some. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is. But
I watched The Wolf of Wall Street about, I don't know, I think when I was on a little movie kick. I probably told you that. Did I say that on the show?
Yeah, I think you might have. Yeah,
that's pretty good. I like that.
I love that movie. It's a good one.
Yeah, a lot of people love that movie. I didn't realize how loved it was. Mm-hmm. All right, there you go. So there's your Leo report. This was kind of interesting. I found it in Best Life Online. In a recent study published in Scientific Reports, the researchers found that consuming caffeine after a bad night's sleep could lead to reductions in gray matter volume in the brain. And that's a little scary to me because, I don't know, like I worry about not having that bad sleeps will lead to Alzheimer's eventually. And they are known to do that, especially your sleep during your 40s in particular, according to Peter Attia. That's very highly linked to how likely you are to get Alzheimer's or other neurological degeneration. So anyway, I have some bad sleeps. That concerns me. I kind of thought caffeine is linked positively to, Alzheimer risk reduction. So the idea that if I drink it after a bad night's sleep, I'm reducing the gray matter in my brain. I don't like that at all. I mean, does that scare you, Doug?
It does scare me because, of course, I'm drinking more caffeine after a bad night's sleep.
Right, that's when you need it.
Doubling up. Yeah. I mean, that's scary, especially because I've had 7 years of bad night sleeps now consistently, and I've been drinking a lot of caffeine. What's that doing?
Right. I mean, that's what parenthood is. Like, as much as you might do everything you can to avoid that, it's just your sleep takes a huge hit when you have kids. So yeah, it's scary. In the details here is that they had 36 non-smoking participants, 29 years old or so, split them into two groups. So this is not a lot of people, 18 people per group. I think we would need more evidence to say this is anything.
And are they students?
I don't know about that. I don't see
29-year-olds. Never mind.
Yeah, they'd be old students. It's like age Leo should be dating. Optimal dating age for him. That's who they studied here. Over 9 days, they had 2 nights with 8 hours of sleep, followed by 5 days of chronic sleep restriction. And I don't have the details of what that exactly was. You can go to the real study if you want. This was from Best Life Online, like I said. And they linked to the real study there. But anyway, then they had 200 milligrams of caffeine in the morning. The caffeine group did. The decaf group had just decaf coffee. So they had a little bit of caffeine in that, but not much. And at the end, they showed that the caffeine group had this significant decrease in gray matter volume, whereas the decaf group actually had an increase in gray matter volume. So like the gray matter volume. So despite actually having been sleep deprived, their brain grew from what? I don't know. Like, does that mean your brain's going to keep growing if you don't do anything to stop it?
I don't know.
So I don't know. I mean, this is, like I said, not a lot of people. I'm not convinced yet that this is something to be concerned about, but maybe you think, like, I don't know, you get a bad sleep. I will say, when I have a really bad sleep, I don't crave coffee the way I do if I had a good sleep. If I had a good sleep, I'm raring to go. I'm excited to have a cup of coffee. When I'm feeling really badly, like I think the caffeine will help me do if I have to do anything, but it would feel much better not to get all wired up at that point, right? And just kind of just stay chill and relax and be tired, maybe even take a nap.
Take a nap, right?
Yeah, but sometimes you can't, and that's kind of the role of caffeine.
That's the coffee nap.
Yeah, there you go.
That's my cure to any ailment. The coffee nap.
So will this change your behavior, Doug, in any way next time you sleep badly?
I mean, it might make me think, but probably not, honestly.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, it might make me just a little angry as I'm drinking my coffee, thinking about. But all right, so what I don't understand here is what happens after a week of good sleep and you're drinking coffee versus decaf? Is it the coffee itself that's making you reduce gray matter, or the combination of sleep deprivation and coffee? They're implying that, but it looks like they only
we don't know that. We don't know what happens with good sleep. You're right. It's a good point. And were these people coffee drinkers to begin with? I don't know either. That would be important to know. And I mean, next, what's gray matter? Another important question. I mean, I guess it's the main brain tissue. I don't know. And does it have anything to do with Alzheimer's, as I'm implying?
So many questions.
Alzheimer's is characterized by a large loss of gray matter, says National Institute of Health.gov. So there you go.
Personally, I like purple matter better than gray matter. It's a little more lively, a little more vibrant. Yeah, but
I like dark matter. Different thing entirely. Right? Isn't it like the missing piece of the universe?
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
All right. So there is that, and do I have one more? No, I don't have one more. I mean, one more was Meati, but we'll do Meati as our feature today because of all the interest in it. So first of all, anything going on here with the audience? People
lots
still talking about
of Meati talk.
A lot of Meati. So yeah, let's get to Meati. British tells us that gray matter deals with day-to-day function.
Have we said hello to everybody? I see Candace V. That's a new name to me.
Yeah, I may have seen that name before, Candace? but not all the time.
We got Lady Draws a Lot, KDC, Britters.
Candace V's got an interesting take. She doesn't care if the Meati is mold. It was so good last night that she had.
Oh, there you go.
Or last week, sorry.
Well, let's not get into it yet, because I got some thoughts here. Phyllis, Anne Marie, D1 to know, adventure coach. Lots of people here today. Good to see everybody's face, or not face. Everybody's name pop up.
Vegan Stallion is not here. I felt bad yesterday when I was saying Vegan Stallion's opinions were no good because he thinks.
Yeah,
I just, I didn't sleep well and I was not in a good mood.
Oh,
so I apologize, Vegan Stallion. Formal apology issued. I hope Vegan Stallion one day comes back so I can apologize.
Did you have coffee, or was because the gray, your gray matter might have been failing?
Right, definitely might have. Yeah, I mean, yesterday was one of those days. I woke up, didn't realize I had to take Holden an hour and a half drive round trip to soccer, and was woken up 5 minutes ahead of that after a bad sleep. Quickly made coffee, so it was like emergency. Drink coffee because you have to do something. That's what I was doing. All right. Anything else, Doug? Anything else before we move on?
I didn't sleep very well last night. Katie is probably gonna listen to this. She went out for a hike with a friend, and they ended up deciding to climb a mountain that they weren't planning on, and turned an hour and a half long hike into a 5-hour hike. Came home at 11:15 at night after hiking with their iPhones as light. It was a badass move because it was like rainy and I don't know. I mean, it's an epic adventure, badass move to just decide to go for it.
And how did you react to that? As someone who generally likes to encourage adventuring and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I had to check myself a little bit, right? Because I was a little concerned about her. But I mean, not really. It was her and a friend, but just being out there in the rain and the dark with.
Were you ever angry? Like, come on, she didn't tell me she was going to do this.
I was only angry because I wanted to go to sleep, but I didn't want to go to sleep until until I knew she made it back safely. Not angry.
She keep saying this is going to be a 5-hour thing instead of 1, or she just didn't even tell you?
Well, about when I was expecting her to get home, she sent me a photo from the summit. Hey, it'll be a longer night than anticipated, which was no problem. I mean, she was always going to be out for the evening.
Yeah, right.
But also, I don't know. I think it was also really cool and badass that they just knocked it out.
Yeah. Was it Mount Mitchell, tallest mountain east of the Mississippi?
No, it was Graveyard.
Okay. Another prominent mountain.
Very prominent.
Good. All right. Well, hope you get a better sleep tonight.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so much stuff on the Meati thing here, which I'm suddenly concerned for Meati because people are ready to quit eating it entirely. So let's jump in. And one person at least rushing to the defense, saying the mold they use is fine. Odd sentence to utter, but yeah, that is what they're saying. Okay, so let's get to it. First of all, it's from agfundernews.com. Veg News, shockingly, Veg News wasn't the one who broke this story. Agfunder News is the one that did. Of course, they're totally against plant meats. So they would be the ones that would be on this first. But I hope plant-based news will I'm sure Veg News won't. Hope plant-based news will chime in and give us some sort of defense, just because that's what we expect of them. And then we can weigh the different sides. But anyway, the headline is Meati Foods hit with false advertising lawsuit over, quote, mushroom root claims. And the gist of it is they've been sued by, in the Eastern District of California, by plaintiff Serena Caldera. And I don't know who that is or who she's tied to or anything. And what they said is they're alleging that the Meati falsely advertises its cutlets and steaks as, quote, made from mushroom root, when they are in fact made from a strain of filamentous fungus called Neurospora crassa, a type of mold. So that's it. It's a red mold, commonly grows on bread, right? So this isn't just like some lab mold. It's not a real mold. I mean, it's red. That's kind of gross. It grows on bread, which is like if I see anything grow on my bread, I'm not eating that. I'm certainly not saying, hey, that's protein. I should eat this bread more. So yeah, that's it. They're saying the customers would not pay the higher prices Meati charges if it were disclosed, and they probably wouldn't purchase the products if Meati disclosed right on the package that this is mold. There's some precedent for this. We'll get into that in a minute, involving corn. But first, Doug, initial response.
I have zero problem with this. Zero. I think they should label it, if it is potentially, if there are some people who are more sensitive to it and will be sick, right, which we have seen. I mean, Bianca in our community got sick from it. Obviously that should be labeled properly.
On that note, let's cover that because that's really important. They said the complaint goes on to allege that this is a quote: consuming high concentrations of mold can cause severe allergic reactions in members of the consuming public and can potentially lead to death. So that's what their claim. We did see Bianca, and we keep saying it every time we bring up Meati, that Bianca like violently puked all night. I don't know the exact details or extent, but that's what it sounded like. Terrible night of puking because she ate this, and then she did some research and realized that some people are allergic to this mycoprotein or mycelium, but no one said mold at that point.
Which that's obviously a big problem, and no one would know. Like, I go around, I know that I'm allergic to dogs, right? I have no idea if I'm allergic to mycelium protein, right?
True.
Until I wouldn't have eat this food. So even if it is labeled, most people probably wouldn't know because it's just not a common food that we're eating, right?
Yeah, probably. Unless like, well, we could ask Bianca if she were here. Like, maybe she's had that incident several times because, and it's been identified just because, like, if you're sensitive to it, it happens more often. Anytime you have bread that is even close to moldy, visibly moldy, who knows? So you might know, but maybe not.
But I have no problem with it, honestly. I mean, let's see. Blue cheese has mold in it, right?
Because you have no problem with this having a type of mold as the protein. You're fine with that part.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. What about saying made from mushroom root?
Well, I mean, I don't know the logistics of it, right? I mean, I don't know the science behind it.
This says in the complaint, it says they're not made from any part of a mushroom. Not made from mushroom roots or any part of the mushroom. Let's assume that's true, which we don't know. That's just the allegation.
Okay. Well, then that's
okay with them saying.
I mean, right. I mean, that's misleading. That's misleading, and
right, I can't say
that. But mushrooms are a fungus, right?
Yeah.
Mold is a fungus. Why not just say fungus root or something like that?
Yeah, I guess people probably don't like the word fungus, but you're right. That would at least raise less eyebrows than mold.
Right. because I mean they're both are fungi. I mean, people think of fungi as mushrooms. You know, the fungi.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I there's mold in them, like soy sauce, or like fermented beverages and stuff like that. Don't they rely on mold?
I don't know about that. Some wines are improved by some type of noble rot, they call it.
So I mean, like I said, like the fact that mold is being used, no problem with that at all. Obviously, it should be labeled correctly, and obviously, if there's safety precautions, they need to be, for allergens, and that needs to be disclosed.
Yeah. I guess knowing what I know about molds, which is not very much, except that, everyone says, well, that'll make you sick. You don't want that. It could proliferate in your system or whatever. And I don't even know if that's true. But I guess that makes me suddenly like way more concerned, because we've said a lot. We're like, well, this seems like a pretty clean ingredient label. We don't know, because humans haven't been eating mycelium for a long time. So it's sort of a little bit of an unknown, but like, it looks like a great label. It doesn't look ultra processed or anything. But now I think, okay, this is mold. Like, I guess I just have more concerns. Like, and I would now need to do much more research about it. Like, is it safe for me to consistently consume mold if I were going to be consistently consuming this, or am I going to have a problem over time or something?
Yeah. KDC, who I'm guessing just Googled it, I'm not sure, says that, what was it called?
Something crassa.
Neurocrassa has been used in Southeast Asia for a long time for food production.
Okay, so that's good. That's helpful. All right, Bridger says, how about sending it to a lab to determine the actual amount? I think we put way worse things in our mouth. If I'm not mistaken, I think the entire thing is that. I mean, other than the flavorings and things, I think that's the ingredient in Meati. So this would be all that, and maybe they do whatever form of processing they do to make it threaded or whatever, or maybe it is threaded from the beginning. So I don't really know. Yeah, let's see. Mushroom root, that number one ingredient is mycelium. Everything else is in the less than 2% of category. So it's it. I mean, that's what you're eating. So yeah,
I can't confirm this, but KDC says that on the back it actually does say don't consume if you're sensitive to mushrooms or mold. So there you go.
Okay, that's good. Well, that will help them for sure. So that's what happened with the corn suit and settlement. In 2016, they were sued. They use a different kind. It's called Fusarium venenum, and the lawsuit there suggested that it was substantially similar. Or sorry, they suggested, Corn did, with their marketing, that this was substantially similar to a mushroom. And then ultimately they came to a settlement, and they had to add disclosures to the labels as part of this settlement that said mycoprotein is a mold member of the fungi family. There have been rare cases of allergic reactions to products that contain mycoprotein. So they're disclosing it, and I mean, it's interesting that Meati already is doing that. This article from AgFunder is not going to tell us anything positive about Meati's side of the story, of course, which is why, like I said, I hope Plant-Based News does. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I feel like sort of like we were tricked by Meati, and I don't like that. That's aside from the issue of like, oh, now we're eating mold, or would I keep eating this thing knowing it's mold? I feel like this is a pretty bad thing for a company. You sort of lost a lot of trust by not telling us this was mold.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
I guess so. How do you?
Yeah. I mean, mushroom. So mushroom is fungus. Mold is fungus. Mushroom is not mold. Right? They're not the same thing.
Right.
So I guess I am annoyed by that as well.
Yeah. So
I don't think it's bad that they didn't use the word mold, right? Because everyone is having this same response, right? And if it's a mold that's been used for a long time, if it's common in certain things,
So you'd be okay if they just called it what it is, but they didn't say it was mushrooms like they do.
Yeah.
Just don't even say that it's mold. Yeah, that makes sense. And say that it's fungus if you need to give that detail. That seems fine to me, especially because, by the way, they say here, Meati Foods has not yet submitted a GRAS, which is the generally recognized as safe acronym, to the FDA outlining allergenicity data for crassa. But Better Meat Company, which is another one we've talked about a good bit, I think that is that's Paul Shapiro's company, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, they have They have a GRAS notice, and in that they said no evidence was identified which suggests that proteins from Encrasa represent any risk to consumers that is not matched by equal low-level identity matches from widely diverse taxa of divergent organisms. It's akin to other common fungi in the human diet, long history of safe consumption, etc. So, yeah, other than the rare allergies, it's probably not dangerous for us. I don't know. What are the carnivores going to say, though, Doug? The carnivore dieters are going to say, come on, you guys, you want us to eat bugs? You liberals want us to eat bugs, and now you want us to eat mold, and then lab-grown science projects. And this doesn't add to our case.
Where's your buddy who name I'm linking on right now?
I don't know. No. Carnivore buddy?
No, you're. Oh my God, what's his name? Everyone calls him a troll.
Garuda Legends.
Garuda, where's Garuda right now?
No, I'm sure. Yeah, Garuda would, a predictable outtake here from Garuda. I'm sure would say probably what I just said. John
Zook, who's another new face that I don't know.
Yep. Thank you to the new people who are contributing a lot here,
chiming in a lot. Is kind of is taking a stance, maybe a little bit more aggressive than mine, but similar vein, where it's fungus. It's not something we need to be afraid of, as long as it's not harmful fungus.
Yeah, I think that's right. Based on what we just read, I think it sounds like it's not very concerning. I still would want to do some more research before consistently eating this, but it sounds to me like it's been eaten for a long time safely, and it's good.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't say that it's mushroom. That is from mushrooms. That's
right. Yeah, that does seem misleading. John Zook says that it's the same mold used in miso. I tried Googling that, and I'm not positive that's true. I think it's a different strand, but it might be. I don't know. That was just the same.
I would say now, then we're in the clear, because I think miso has been consumed for a long time and in decent quantities. That probably more than I would have expected a mold to be consumed. But miso is mainly from soy.
It looks to me like just a quick Google search that Neurospora cytophila is what miso is. So maybe another Neurospora, but a different one. But I don't know. I can't confirm that. That's just a quick Google search.
Yeah. All right. So there we go. I don't know where we'll stand. Where it stands. I'm sure we will hear more about this, and we'll hopefully hear a resolution at some point. Probably a settlement, like happened with corn. Be my guess based on one data point. But we'll see. Until then, Doug, you're still eating Meati. You're not throwing it out or anything like KDC is.
KDC says she's gonna gag when she eats it.
Oh, she's not throwing it out anymore though. She's just gonna gag thinking about eating mold.
No, I am totally okay with eating. I will continue eating Meati, even though I haven't had it yet. I would eat it. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. I'm not scared.
If I purchased it again, I would be less enthusiastic about that.
No. It's not going to change my opinion on it at all. I mean, only the labeling thing. If they were misleading with the labeling, that I do find that to be problematic. But whether it's mushroom or mold, that part doesn't bother me at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. John Zook points out they allow feces in real meat. It's crazy people are worried about a mold that's been used for years. I mean, it's a good point. But feces can't be 98% of the meat, that's for sure. And this is that. So yeah, I get the point though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Well, curious to hear what Bianca thinks about this. Hopefully she'll listen to this episode. All right, really quickly, Doug, let's hit the other story we have for today since we're done for the week and we punted it yesterday. It's from Newsweek.com, mainstream site. Says woman's response to vegan teetotal friend applauded. Quote, she didn't like that. And the gist of the story, the woman's been applauded here for being honest about why she cut ties with a friend who is vegan and doesn't drink. That's the first line of Newsweek's story. And it's pretty much what happened is they go out in this friend group, I guess, and they eventually, this woman got tired of having to be limited in the choices of the places they can go. She said, here's what she told Lauren, her friend who is vegan and doesn't drink. I respect your choices, but by the very nature of them, they have limited mine. Being that I don't have the ability to go out often, nor unlimited funds, I'm only going to go when I know the entire experience will be what I want. So that's the gist of it. There's much more to the article. But that's pretty much what it was. She said it's not like this woman isn't a friend of hers or someone she doesn't like. It's just she's going to go out. She wants to have a good time, and if to be inclusive of this friend, it means the time isn't that good. So my take is I actually kind of agree. Like I think this is fine. Like it just means this person wasn't that good of a friend, and this other stuff is more important than that friend. Getting to go out and do what's fun. So I don't know, Doug. What do you think here?
I have mixed feelings here, and let me explain. So first of all, I think that we all have seasons of life. We've talked about that many times on various podcasts, and that also is we have seasons of friends. Like I think that long-term friends is demonstrates one's commitment to people and relationships and that kind of thing, and I think that's a very positive thing. But not every friend has to be a long-time friend, right? That you can have friends that are really good for a number of years when you're partying or whatever, and then you just kind of separate when that's no longer connecting you together. And I think that's like totally fine and acceptable and great even. And so if this is the case here, then then that's great. That's no problem with that. But then I read that they just kind of like cut her off of the group chat because they were like, she was bringing her down. And then I was like, oh, I gotta side with the vegan here. Like that kind of stinks, just getting cut out. But then if you read further down, you see that when they would order a hamburger, she would cause drama, that she would, and since she doesn't drink, she would send videos of harmful effects of alcohol to to her friends. And then I'm like, okay.
If they get a drink or two with dinner, that's all it would take. Or ordering a hamburger or eating something that has an obvious meat to it. This woman would do this stuff. So, I mean, once you see that part,
it's
like, I mean, even if I was vegan and didn't drink, I would cut that friend off. I mean, I don't like literally, if I forget the alcohol part, if a vegan friend of mine, and I'm vegan too, but if the vegan friend would send everyone on the group chat pictures that were, whatever this, or basically the drama stuff, I'd say I'm out. I don't want to be associated with that. I'm not, that makes me embarrassed to be vegan when people do that kind of behavior. And so I would not want to be friends with that person.
Yeah, I do that all the time, but
you cause drama.
Yeah. No. I mean, like she dug her own grave here for sure. Of course she's gonna get cut out from the group chat if she's just giving her friends a hard time for living their lives. So then I very much sided with the non-vegan friend who cut her out. So I went through a series of of emotions as I was reading this article.
All right. What about just the alcohol part? Because I've been thinking about this a lot, independently from this article. That when I go place in a little bit, I've been not drinking, which is just recently for a little while. I really hate feeling like I'm a buzzkill, and I'm there with people who are having fun, and they're excited that I'm there to hang out with, and then they realize I'm not drinking any beer. I'm drinking water, and I feel bad for them because I feel like, man, I kind of like I ruined the fun a little bit. Because I feel that way about non-drinkers. I will be honest about that. They kind of ruin my fun when it's like, I don't know, like if I'm excited to hang out with someone and I see that everyone's drinking, but they're not, I think, I don't know. That's a bummer.
Yeah, I think that's a you problem though. And I think that's a them problem. Yeah, because one of my best friends quit drinking.
By the way, I'm not saying they therefore should drink, right? That's not.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. One of my best friends quit drinking a year ago or so. And it was a little bit of a transition period because we would often go get beers, right? And I would then feel uncomfortable, certainly drinking by myself if he wasn't drinking, like if it was just the two of us out, and just didn't really know how to react to, how to handle that part. And it took a little bit of time for us to figure out what it is we do when we hang out, and also for me to feel comfortable, like if we're out to dinner or whatever, and I want to get a beer, like just do it, and he doesn't care. Right. and just feeling okay with that. And so I think it just took a transition or a shift in my mindset of being like, okay, I can still do what I want to do, and he didn't care. And I probably will change my behavior. I'm not going to drink like 3 beers while he's drinking none or something like that. But that's probably not a bad thing. And also we've started doing other things that aren't, necessarily around alcohol, which has been great. So
yeah, I think that's the key. I mean, to me, like if I were to stop drinking, or my friend were to stop drinking, and it was someone who I was used to, like we'd go out and we'd have dinner, we'd drink, and you do what drinking people do, right? You start talking a little louder and more stories. I would say that when you've stopped drinking, like for me, and I could be wrong about this, like we're never going to have as much fun as we used to doing that. Like it's just not, I know it might be different and maybe somehow better because now we're fully aware all the time. But like, to me, I don't know. That's just not as fun as what the alternative was. And I get that there's side effects to the alternative too. You feel worse the next day and all that. And it may be unhealthy long-term. So I get all that. But I think the key, like you said, is just do something different that doesn't involve alcohol. And then you can have, potentially the same or a different type of fun, but it won't be directly compared to what this would be like if you were drinking together.
With your water situation though, and your friends, I bet that if you just didn't drink water, if you just drank either NA beer or even like a soda, or just anything other than water, because water just feels so boring, right?
Yep.
And you look at it and you're like, oh, does that person even want to be here? They're just sitting here drinking water, even if you do want to be there. But if you were doing something that was just slightly more enjoyable to drink, then I feel like it kind of makes it a little less weird.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I think that actually encapsulates my concern. Is like I put off the vibe of someone who doesn't want to be there. Because that's what my interpretation is if I see someone doing that, which could be totally false, right? Someone who's not been drinking for a while, that doesn't cross their mind that they don't want to be there because they can't drink. So anyway, I'm sure these are almost universal, these types of discussions around drinking and non-drinking. But if you're sending pictures and you're teetotaling, you're sending people evidence of why 1 or 2 drinks is terrible for you, that's a bummer. You're out of the circle if you do that.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, there we go. People are chiming in here. Bridger says, my friends used to ask if it was okay if we went to breweries when I went sober, and was totally down and would offer to DD. You have to vibe in your own way. And yeah, that's a good thing. Because in the story, I was thinking like if hanging out with that woman meant breweries off the table, but a brewery is one of the fun things to do for a group, like then yeah, you might not want to have that friend because it limits what you can do. But if things are open, and she'd be okay going there. But I don't think she would be going. This particular woman wouldn't be down with that. But anyway, yeah, I think that's good. KDC's on day 291 of no alcohol, and no one has ever judged me for drinking anything other than alcohol. I think we're over the judgment. But I don't know if you've got a friend like me, Katie, they're just silently judging you. That's the thing.
I do think it's becoming so much more common.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, several of my friends will choose a non-alcoholic drink, even if they do drink sometimes.
Yeah, and that's great.
And myself too. Like I've done that many times over the last few years.
Yeah.
So.
Good. Well, congratulations, Casey. 291 days. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
I think my wife is on a very similar. No, she's probably at a year now. But yeah, very good.
And Britters too, and Anne-Marie is sober. We have a lot of sober folks here.
Yep. And I do in many ways admire that. But like I said, well, I don't know. Like I said, I said what I said. John Zuck's only drank 10 times, but smoked weed 10,000 times.
There you go.
So, there you go. Okay, I guess that's it. We kind of went longer than the short show plan we're done, but we're a little short, so that's good. Yeah, thanks for turning up, everyone. Turning up, turning out, tuning in. Any more? Any more things like that, Doug?
What?
Showing
tuning
up,
out, tuning in,
showing up,
showing up.
Yeah, thinking of these things.
Smash that like button. John Zook said so as well. And I wanted to call out someone else who's catching the live feed for the first time. Where are you? Kin. KN. Welcome from South Africa. Hi from South Africa. Thanks for joining.
Okay. I didn't see that one. And then the person you mentioned at the beginning as well. Man, a lot of comments today.
Yeah, it's great. Love it. Thanks, everybody.
Candace V. That's who the other person was. Okay. Yes. Thank you for coming out to the show. Thank you for participating. Lots of good stuff. Yeah, like John Zuck said, please like, subscribe, smash, all those things. And then we'll be back on Tuesday. So everyone enjoy your weekend.